and welcome to another episode of Industry Celebrities. My name is Kimberly Scott. Industry Celebrities is a podcast where I interview industry professionals in any industry, and I ask them questions about their industry or passions, plus my guests give a little advice to their younger self. If you want to tune into other episodes, you can do so by going to thatkimberly.com/convo and choose whichever platform you'd prefer to listen to. You can do that. Now, I'd like to welcome today's guest. She is a scientist and a dementia expert, would you not say? Pooja Jain. Hi.
Pooja Jain.
Pooja Jain, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, Pooja, will you tell the listeners, I should say, about what industry you're in and how long you've been doing what you're doing?
Yep. So we're in the dementia care space and been at this for the last 2 years with my company CogniHealth, but I did my master's in neuroscience. And so was working in Alzheimer's disease specifically for a year. And before that, 4 years of undergrad in medical sciences.
Wow. So when I called you a scientist, that was correct.
A little bit.
Okay.
Not a PhD yet, but.
Got it. Okay. Yes. I forget those extra letters that you need at the end, but you're a scientist to me. How about that? Because you're.
Sounds good.
So when did you start in, the dementia cognitive world?
Yeah. So it was actually during my master's program, so specifically looking at Alzheimer's disease on a molecular level, but quite disconnected from what it actually meant to be affected or live with dementia. And it was around that time that I attended a conference, and in the midst of, scientists sharing all their findings and everything, there was this man who shared his experience of being a carer for his wife. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the first time I came face to face with the realities of dementia rather than being hidden in a lab and working on it in a different world, essentially.
Were you crying at the end of his story? Because, I know what I've been through, but the first time I ever heard about a man and wife, either one of them caring for the other, it's heartbreaking.
It is, and it was actually more shocking because you're so, I think, oblivious to that until someone tells you or you experience it personally, which I have in the last year as well. So until you come, like I said, face to face with it, you're quite distant from it. You don't get it. And so when I heard his story and what he was doing with it while caring for his wife is when I first was introduced to this massive problem and this massive unmet need, because it wasn't just him. It was millions of other carers struggling with the same sort of issues. And as much as we know there's a lot on the internet, it's really difficult to navigate through what's right for them, at what stage, and more importantly, they need to know what they don't know, which is quite difficult. And most of the time, if
overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
So overwhelming, and there's so much information that you would think it was easy, but it's almost daunting is the best word I can say from the experience that I had when my mom was diagnosed with dementia.
Yeah. And so kind of after that point, I decided that I wanted to focus on this area, but maybe rather from a scientific point of view and doing research on it. How can I help people right now while others are working towards a cure? Mm-hmm. And so technology, it's been transforming so many different industries, like the financial sector, but healthcare and specifically social care has kind of been left behind. And so we thought, okay, we can make technology the enabler. It was never, we never would want to say that it would replace care because you can't, but it's just a support mechanism to deliver while someone's caring for their loved one. And so that was kind of the starting point. And for some time after that, I became a professional carer. So I've been, on this journey with many different families at different states, different backgrounds, different problems. And that's when I realized, there's no one size fits all solution. It's going to be very different for each family. Yeah. And you can't have one guide. And that's when the whole personalization aspect of what we're doing came to light, where we're using technology and we're going to develop an app and it's going to be personalized to the individual care, to the individual family based on where they are, their culture, what they're struggling with, what their socioeconomic background, all of it, exactly.
Is the most frustrating thing for me the first year and a half trying to get my mom's, life in order when she was diagnosed was when somebody approached me about it by compare it exactly to whatever they went through or if they had not gone through it. Like I had a handful of friends that were so kind in this is what we did and this is what happened here, or this is for us. And then I just took the bits and pieces, but I would always turn off somebody that was like, oh, that means this is, well, no, you're not a doctor. And that does not mean, it's different. And I think now is going on 7 years. Every disease is different. And the fact that people think dementia is the disease and not just a symptom of 20, I can't remember how many diseases your app lists, but I know there were at least 25. I just remember looking at them and going, holy smokes, I was right, way over the 20 mark, with Alzheimer's being the biggest one known, but dementia is the symptom of all these others,
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's such an amazing thing that you've just highlighted, of that initial understanding of what is it. I mean, you may know on a very generic level, and people associate dementia with memory loss, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point of CogniCare, which is the app that we've developed, the idea is to understand the holistic care or holistic aspects of dementia. So
yes,
financial, legal, the symptoms, why do they occur? What can you do? What is dementia? What's going on in research? Why do we not have a cure? So all these questions and understanding is so important. And that's the point of the solution that we're creating.
Yeah. When I came across your profile, or you came across mine, and you told me you had this app and I went and downloaded it, I was excited. Let me just tell you. But it is something that people don't understand. And my mom is Latin, and I learned that the Latin community and culture is one of the highest undocumented, because in our culture, you don't go to the doctor. You just, put some Windex on it. Just joking. That's but it's just old age, or you just take them in, you take your loved ones in and you care for them and they're crazy, but that's not it. And now I understand why, because in 2001 was barely when a law was passed that insurance would cover dementia medicines or diagnoses, just 2001. Before then, it wasn't covered, but yet the disease has been around. I had a friend who volunteers at the Alzheimer's Association who said it's been around since the 1900s, if not whoever Mr. Alzheimer's, the doctor that founded Alzheimer's or diagnosis, or what I mean. So anyway, I'm excited that CogniCare, yes, there's an app, both Android, Apple, and now Alexa, correct?
Exactly. So you can ask 150, 200 different types of questions, from generic, what is dementia, to very symptom specific, like why is the person that I'm caring for not communicating with me, or is being aggressive, or any kind of other challenges that you may have. And Alexa gives 30 to 45-second answers, or why that may be happening, or what you can do about it. And it's just the ease of just asking.
Yeah. And I actually was given the Alexa for my birthday 2 years ago. And then I was gifted an Alexa for volunteering on this association, the Texas Department Association, shout out. So I was going to return one. And then I had this brainiac idea of, hey, why don't I put it in my mom's house? And so I talk to her every morning via the Alexa. And it's
absolutely amazing. And it's taking such a big part of the market share. And you can see that it's a growing trend, that as the years come, it's going to be a lot more popular, and it's going to be in every household.
Oh, yeah.
Just like how we have smartphones, I think it's 80% of searches are going to be through voice. Yep. So you can already see where the direction that tech is moving into the household.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you my one standing question. Okay. What would you tell your younger self, is my standing question for this podcast?
What I would tell my younger self would be to keep learning, and even if someone says that's not going to work, just do it if you really truly believe in it and have that gut feeling. Don't be so upset. Don't be so down by the fact that no one else believes in what you do.
Awesome. And stop talking to that person is what I would tell your younger self too. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, good for you. Way to go. Yes, it takes us a while all to learn that. It took me to my 30s. So good for you. That is great advice. And keep doing what you're doing, because it's definitely an amazing thing. Okay, so tell listeners how they can get a hold of you, and or where to go to download the app. And then
so you can download CogniCare. So that's CogniCare. Just type that into the App Store or Google Play Store, and it's free to download. Or just enable the same skill, CogniCare skill, within the Amazon app. In terms of contacting me, you can email me at Pooja, so that's POOJA, at CogniHealth, CogniHealth.uk. And the other way that you can find us is through our website, CogniHealth.uk. UK.
And it has all the information you need, because I definitely looked it up. So I highly recommend folks reaching out to you because you have a wealth of knowledge in so many different realms that it, is definitely connecting with people to share that would be a great thing. And thank you, listeners. Remember to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, iTunes channel, Anchor, or go download it on your Amazon Alexa. Plus, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those great places. Until next week, stay positive, and remember, sharing is caring, everyone. Have a great one.